welcome back. It's been a long time coming. We've had a few weeks away from the YouTube channel because we have been desperately trying to get this next auction up online, ready for you all to view, which has now happened. So the full catalogue, it was my first announcement that it is online. So go to auctions.gardnerholgate.co.uk or guitar-auctions.co.uk or guitarauctions.com, whichever is your preference, to have a look at the fully illustrated catalogue. It's our largest sale ever, with nearly, I think it's about 1870, so just under 1900 lots for you to have a look at. We got some great things in the sale. As you all know, we got the Crisscross collection, so the entire Crisscross collection is now up online. We've got the Status Quo collection that you will have all seen announcements about, so we've got some great things coming up there. They're essentially their entire backline touring rig from the past 2 decades. So we've got that. We've got the Angelo Bruschini collection, the guitars from Massive Attack. We've got the Granary classical guitar collection. So we've got some really great guitars in aside from that. And like I said, go over to the website and have a look at them and see what we've got. You can register to bid. Very easy to do so. Create an account on the website. You can register to bid. Of course, you can ask for your condition reports as well. Just a quick note on condition reports. For those of you who are requesting condition reports, they will get seen to. Please bear with us. We have literally probably got, I don't know, nearly 500 to do. So there's a lot of condition reports to get through, and that is and counting. So we will get to your condition report before the sale. There's no need to send an extra request. You will hear from us probably the week before the sale. We've got other things to do, like laying out sale rooms ready for viewing. So viewing taking place on the 29th of November, and of course the day before the auction starts on the 2nd of December, so the Friday and the Monday before the sale. So just quickly running through the sale order, we've got the Crisscross collection, Status Quo collection, Angelo Bruschini collection, and all the other artists associated guitars and memorabilia and equipment. On the Tuesday the 3rd of December, we've got guitars, all the guitars this time. The guitars aren't split, so we've got all the guitars coming on Wednesday the 4th of December. Then we've got amplifiers, effects, spares and audio equipment on Thursday the 5th of December. And then on the Friday, we've got antique and classical guitars, including the Granary collection. So nearly 70 lots of antique and classical guitars. So have a look at the catalogue. And now we're going to have a look through at some, I guess, nicer things that have come in for the sale, including, and we will start with the Angelo Bruschini lots, the highlighted lots from his collection. But stick around and you'll see some rather wonderful guitars that are featuring in this auction on the 3rd to the 6th of December. So most of you will have seen by now that we have a collection of guitars from Angelo Bruschini, who played guitar with Massive Attack. He was also a member of the Blue Aeroplanes. So 2 huge Bristol bands, the Blue Aeroplanes. They are often cited as Bristol's longest running band. And then I think Massive Attack are probably Bristol's most successful ever band, or arguably most successful ever band. And kind of, I guess they were the pioneers of the trip-hop music scene. Anyway, Angelo played with Massive Attack for decades, from the 1990s right through to 2018 was his last ever gig with them. And all the big performances that you see live, especially if you go on YouTube and look at videos, you will see Angelo there live on stage. He was involved with a lot of recording as well, was heavily involved with their biggest album, Mezzanine, with all their classic tracks on that we know. Teardrop is probably the biggest one. And so we do have some guitars that we used throughout that time. As you can see from the case, this case has been on tour extensively. It's been to Hong Kong, it's been to Japan. It actually says on their Kincaid guitar, we do have his Kincaid guitar in the sale, but the Kincaid guitar isn't in here. It's currently fitted for a Strat, and there we go. So this is a Squier Protone series Stratocaster, the Protone series, very well regarded guitars, probably one of the best series, or certainly one of the most regarded series, as I said, for the Squier range, and obviously Angelo thought so as well. Now you can see him using this live. A lot of the videos, quite often you see him using this guitar during the track Inertia Creeps, one of their popular tracks. So any video you go to or live performance, if you sort of scan to the part where they are playing Inertia Creeps, that is the guitar he's using, but it is used in other numbers as well. So yeah, a really cool piece from Massive Attack's, I guess, touring, and Angelo Bruschini's touring days with Massive Attack, should I say. Yeah, fantastic instrument, and I think just showing that, I guess one of the things with headstock snobbery, there's nothing wrong with having Squier on the headstock, because at the end of the day, it's an instrument. It's not a fashion accessory. So again, we have another Angelo Bruschini guitar. Again, Massive Attack stenciled case. I think the case is cool in its own right, isn't it? All part of the provenance. But in here we have probably, well, definitely his sort of longest standing instrument. This has been used from the very early days with the Blue Aeroplanes, and used on most work. Loads of images you can find of him playing this guitar. And there's an image online as well, of him sat with this in his home studio. So this guitar, if you do listen to some Massive Attack tracks, you can tell just by the guitar sound alone that a Telecaster is being used. It would have been this. So this is a 1968 Telecaster Thinline. You can see it's been through the mill of modifications. We do have a lot of the original parts, so we'll go through some of the ins and outs of this guitar in a second. But in terms of provenance, this has been used at Glastonbury Festival. It's been used on in Abbey Road. It's been used at Melt Festival in Germany. That's just from the videos that we can find him using it, but it's probably been used in most performances. The two main guitars he did use are this and a PRS that we will have a look at in a second. But in terms of originality, I guess originality doesn't always necessarily matter with artist-associated guitars, because they get sold on the merit of what they've been used for these days in terms of value. But we have a refinished or revarnished body. You can see there is a lot of wear on this body. There's a hairline there. There's some dings. As we say, it's been extensively used. We've got a refinished neck. You can see the original finish over the relacquering. We've got some replacement Clusen style tuners there. And then if I turn it over, obviously it's had a refret. I don't think a guitar that's been used this much would have its original frets. Well, it might do, but it'll be very, very worn and unplayable. Replacement guard, usually have a pearl guard. We do have the original guard, so we've got the original guard for the guitar. You'll see the bridge plate's been replaced. We do also have the original for that, so we do have the original bridge plate. Strat buttons, also replacements. We have the original Strat buttons. And then in terms of pickups, both pickups are replaced, but we do have the original neck pickup. We don't have an original bridge pickup. What we are including with the lot is a selection of various Telecaster pickups that have been installed on this guitar over the years. So most of the parts that have been installed right throughout the usage of this instrument, we do have the original switch tip. We have one original potentiometer, and we don't. One of the others is has been replaced over the years, but we don't have the original. And the control knobs are replacements. We don't have the originals of those, but we do have the majority of this guitar in terms of parts. You can see there the screws. They should be crosshead, not flathead, but we do have these original neck screws if you want them. So there it is, Angelo Bruschini's Massive Attack and Blue Aeroplanes used, and most of his career used 1968 Telecaster Thinline. And as I mentioned, there's a PRS, Stay on Truck. So it has been out on tour. It's no longer on the truck. It's at Gardner Holgate Auction Rooms, coming up for sale on the 3rd of December. So this is a 1996 Paul Reed Smith, and it'll be no surprise to see that it is a 10 top if you look at that maple. So Angelo saw this guitar while he was on tour in Switzerland. There's a sound advice article in the Academy of Sound, which we've included a picture of in the lot description, where it states that once he saw this guitar, he just had to have it, and he kind of hasn't looked back since. So this has been a sort of a main touring guitar for him. And again, like the Telecaster, you see it over pretty much everything. Most live performances has been used in the studio, so extensively with Massive Attack. So used in 1998 on Jules Holland. The video you can see with him using this. Used at Tea in the Park Festival when Massive Attack played there in 2004, and then in 2003 you can see some footage of it being used on a sort of TV special for Canal Plus, and that was live at the AB. So yeah, again, great provenance, used on pretty much everything, along with the Telecaster, and it's a great guitar, being a PRS. Early PRS as well, 1996, so fairly early, and an incredible top. And as you can imagine, this would have been very, very blue, much like the back, but it has faded over the years. All that UV exposure being on stages and touring the world with this instrument. So another great piece from the Angelo Bruschini collection. And just to finish off with Angelo's collection, there we do have a lot of other items, as you can see from the catalogue if you go and have a look. Including a lot of his home studio used gear, but we do have his amplifiers that he used as well. As you can see, the flight case here with the Massive Attack stencils. So there is another one of these Matchless amps in the case. So there's two Matchless Independence 35, great amplifiers, as most Matchless amplifiers are. So have a look at the catalogue, and of course we do sell other amps as well. We have a section just dedicated to amplifiers. And I think we've got over 150 amps in the sale, so, and some great things as well. So do have a look at the catalogue for the non-artist related amps as well. But just a nice thing to finish off with. I mean, I just love the flight case of the Massive Attack stencil myself, but it does enclose a fantastic amplifier as well. So something else with Artist Association, but also Actor Association. So a lot of you may have already seen this in the catalogue, but this is a 1978 Gibson ES3445, and it was previously owned by Kiefer Sutherland, the actor and musician, more so a musician these days, always out on tour. But this was exchanged with Vintage and Rare Guitars in Bath, as I have confirmed with the owners from Vintage and Rare. So Vintage and Rare Guitars in Bath, they did exchange this for a Jimmy Page Les Paul. It's taken in part exchange. Kiefer traded this in for the Jimmy Page Les Paul when he was in the area. So previously owned by Kiefer Sutherland. So a cool bit of Hollywood and music provenance there. In the case you can see a signature, and we do have a Gibson in here. Get all the catches, and we have a Billy Gibbons Pearly Gates, and this is the VOS version rather than the even more expensive aged version, but this has taken on some aging itself over the time, as the previous owner has not been afraid to play it. So there is some oxidization to the pickups, as you can imagine from I guess sweaty palms. And there is some corrosion to the bridge or stop bar, and yeah, a few dings and knocks, but popular guitars, very collectible nowadays, as there weren't that many made. I believe, is it 250 in the VOS? Far less of them aged. The correct information is in the catalogue if I have got that wrong, or just go and correct me in the comments like you were supposed to do. But there we go. It's a Billy Gibbons Pearly Gates VOS Les Paul from the custom shop. So in here we have something rather special that you really don't see that often. We have offered one of these before, but it was a very, very long time ago, and the market has raced up significantly for them since. So I'm going to carefully unleash this from what we believe is the original case. So this is a 1942 D'Angelico New Yorker archtop guitar. Stunning guitar, stunning craftsmanship. You can see with the maple back and sides and the spruce top. Now, I think those of you who know what you're looking at, eagle-eyed, will probably notice that it has been refinished. but it's been done very, very well by a skilled luthier in Germany. There were some very, very minor hairlines around the bridge area, one of which has been cleated from the inside, and refinishing has taken place. So I'll just turn it around again and have a look at the maple there. You can see the original Grover tuners there with the gold plating loss. But this guitar also has fantastic provenance. It was commissioned by a big band player called Connie Wainwright in 1942, and that is confirmed by the D'Angelico logs with the serial number. And Connie Wainwright played guitar with many well-known artists around the time, including Miles Davis. And we do have a CD of Boppin' the Blues where Connie Wainwright is tributed to. We don't know whether he was using this guitar on the album, but it was around the time he had the guitar, so very, very likely. And then the guitar was then at some point or subsequently owned by Leo Kottke, who is a very well regarded and even considered by some as the greatest American fingerpicking guitarist ever. But I'm sure some of you will disagree and have your own favourites. But he has confirmed in a handwritten letter that he used it for recording his Chewing Pine album. He did use it for other recordings as well, but we do have a copy of the record there. So he used this guitar on this album. So fantastic provenance. The guitar's had a refret. That was carried out by Gruen Guitars. So it has been through Gruen Guitars' hands, I believe, around 2019. But yes, fantastic provenance with this guitar, and a very rare guitar indeed. So previously owned by Connie Wainwright and Leo Kottke, it's a fantastic thing. So here we have a 1997 Taylor Cujo guitar. This instrument was made in collaboration with Stephen King. It was made using the tree that appears in the Cujo film, the cult classic, and there's the walnut from that tree. And as you can see from the fingerboard, you can see the storyboard from the film with the dog, the barn, the tree, and the bat and the moon. So fantastically made guitar, very rare as well, made in limited numbers. And yeah, here we go. Another chance this year to own a Taylor Cujo 14 acoustic guitar. And here we have another rather special guitar. So this is a 1928 Martin 042. So nearly top of the line appointments. I guess some would say the 45 appointments are one above, but there we go. From 1928, a 042 Martin. It really is a stunning guitar. As you can see, we've got this nice tight grained Brazilian rosewood back and sides, which you may or may not be able to pick out on the camera. And then this mahogany neck with the typical join there. Got the Martin impression on the back of the head. And then this period, you don't actually have the Martin logo on the front. But there it is, ebony board with the snowflake and other inlays there. But a stunning guitar, special guitar. Don't see these come up that often. And yeah, I think a great opportunity to own a pre-war Martin. So here we have another early Martin guitar, this time from 1955, and we have a D28 model. As you can see, it's been through the mill. It's been heavily played, as these things should. But there we can see again, Brazilian rosewood back and sides, CITES certified for sale. You can see there's been a repair in the side here. So there has been some refinishing to the body. And then you can see this is incredibly thin now. Really, really has been played, as all great old instruments should be. But yeah, 1955 Martin D28. So here we have lot 902 from the sale. If you have a look at the catalogues, so we have a mid-90s, 1996 Fender Custom Shop Cunetto Stratocaster. So the Cunetto era Stratocasters, they were finished by Vince Cunetto, and he essentially started the whole relicking thing. Some of you love the relicking. Some of you absolutely detest it. Some are on the fence. Well, when I say I'm on the fence, yeah, I guess I am. I don't care either way. I think I quite like them.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Exactly. So there we go. But a fantastic instrument. They're very, very well regarded and amazingly always going up in value. But this is a fantastic instrument, 50s style. And then you can see the embossed Fender Custom Shop logo, which essentially you can tell it's Cunetto era just from that alone. But from 1996, Fender Custom Shop Cunetto era 50s Stratocaster relic. And here we have another Cunetto guitar, this from 1997. This is a Fender Nocaster, and the only reason they're called Nocaster is because the lack of the Telecaster logo. So the original ones, it was in transition between being Broadcaster and Telecaster, so Gretsch asked them to stop using the Broadcaster name, and they happily obliged, and until they started naming it the Telecaster, they have forever been known the Nocaster. So yeah, this one again, Cunetto relic. You can see again the embossed logo on the back, and the light relicing. Another fantastic instrument, nice big chunky flame maple neck, big D profile as you'd expect from a 50s type telly. And another fantastic guitar coming up on the 4th of December. So here we have two David Gilmour Fender Custom Shop guitars, and we are spoiling you. You are spoilt for choice. You can have the relic version or you can have the NOS version. So they do come at different price points. The relic ones are, well, in terms of value, more desirable. Some people wouldn't necessarily want the relic one, but collectible guitars, fantastic guitars as well. So I think we'll start with the relic one just because it's the earlier example. So this is from 2008, so it is from the first run, it's from the first batch, which I think does hold some kudos. So 2008, and you can see all the relicing, so it's more in keeping, or I guess more of a replica of David Gilmour's famous black Strat, now in the Jim Irsay collection. Indianapolis Colts owner, after David Gilmour selling his original and it making $3.3 million. Here we go. For the next one, we have 2011 Fender Custom Shop in the NOS. So new old stock finish and fantastic condition it is. So 2011, this one. Comes with the original case. Both come with the original case, the black Strat book, all the accessories. So you can either have your relic or your non-relic. So here we have a proper relic, 1970 this guitar's from. So you've still got the 4-bolt neck until we go to the less desirable features. Not that I personally mind a 3-bolt neck, but you've got the 4-bolt neck there. This is a 1970 Fender Stratocaster, and it is a hardtail as well. So you see less of the hardtails than you do the standard trem examples, but you can see it's had a life, it's had some play wear, mostly original. You can see the nuts changed. There's a few other minor things that you can see in the catalogue, but it's a really, really cool guitar, nice weight, and still has the desirable features. And for me, I love the big headstocks. Not everyone does, but I really do like the big headstock Strats. So 1970 Fender Hardtail Stratocaster. I don't like throwing you under the bus.
And yet you do it so freely.
Chris has just said, is it a Yamaha Pacifica in disguise? The classic colour of a Yamaha Pacifica guitar, but it is not. It's a 1966 Fender Telecaster that has had the classic 70s treatment. So throughout the 70s, various players, I think Ronson, Bolan, Deacon, stripped their guitars to the natural finish, and many people followed suit. And this also has had that treatment, including the brass nut, which was also a very 70s thing to do. But aside from that, the guitar is essentially original. So it's just been stripped and re-oiled, and the neck appears to have been refinished as well. But other than that, it has had a refret, as you can see, chunkier frets. But other than that, it's an original example and a good base to do what you want with. So you could put any finish you wanted on it, get one of the UK's best. There's many good refinishes out there and relicas. Because one that we know and comes with most kudos these days tends to be Clive Brown, but there are other very, very good luthiers who can do a job for you. So, or you might just want to keep it natural, keep it how it is, in keeping with the history of the guitar. But a 1966 Fender Telecaster. So if you want an extreme player's grade Les Paul Junior and one that would be, I guess, less than half the price of an original these days, look no further. So this guitar has been through the mill. It was chopped out to put further pickups in at some point, but it has been all restored. It's got a new mahogany veneer on the front and the back. It's been refinished. It's had its serial number re-stamped, new tuners. It's had its veneer on the front, so it's not an original logo, but there are original parts. The pickup, importantly, there's the sound. We've got the Brazilian rosewood board. We've got the guard, and so yeah, and various other bits that are original as the guitar should be. But it's not going to cost you £6,500 to £7,500. We have put an estimate of £3,000 to £4,000 on it. So player's grade 55 Gibson Les Paul Junior. So in here we have a rare guitar, only 100 made, or should I say 101. One went to Ronnie Wood, the rest went out as a production run. So this is a Duesenberg Starplayer TV Ronnie Wood signature electric guitar. There we go, the Pearl series, and it's in pretty good condition. So this is serial number 32, as it says on the label, and that is confirmed by the certificate. So there we go, there's the certificate of authenticity, comes with tags as well. So a rare Duesenberg guitar, probably one of the rarest, one of the most sought after. So if you are a fan of the and collector of the brand and you don't have one, here's your opportunity. And in here is a really interesting, and I can only say rare guitar because not even Duesenberg themselves know much about them, although all the information seems to be out there with collectors. So initially we thought this was a Ronnie Wood signature. It has the Ronnie Wood designation, Starplayer TV RW, and then it's got the BL hand written on the tag. Now that essentially appears to indicate that it's black pearl. You can see it has slightly faded, but it's got a darker appearance. Now, what we are told by collectors who know is that there was a run of only 8 of these guitars made, one of which made, I believe, at the request of Billy Gibbons, one of which went to Billy Gibbons, and the rest out into the public. So this one features some differences from the Ronnie Wood model. It's got the piezo pickup, that's one. It's got the slightly different finish, but again from 2003. Now, as we can see here, we have some original tags with matching serial numbers, much like the Ronnie Wood guitar, and you can see a picture of Billy Gibbons holding one. We believe it's not this one, but it's obviously the one that went to him. So I'm sure there'll be more people out there who know more about this, but Duesenberg, although they have confirmed from their serial database that this is the guitar, they don't really have a lot of information on the Billy Gibbons angle. But I've been told by 2 or 3 people that know about these guitars that there were 8 made. So if you know anyone or know anyone who knows anything, let us know, because we'd be interested to know more. But it might just be the case that what we are saying is 100% correct, and just for some reason Duesenberg don't have the information themselves. So in here we have a very rare guitar indeed. We've never had a guitar from this maker. Again, those of you who've already seen the online catalogue will have seen it. But this is a 1930s Larson Bros Euphonon acoustic guitar. Larson Brothers are some of the most sought after vintage acoustics. They were based in Chicago, and they made guitars under their own name and for other people, and we will see a second Larson Brothers made guitar in a second. But this has had work over the years. It's had some refinishing, it's had some repairs, but generally it is as it should be. So an incredibly rare, if you're after a Larson Bros acoustic that won't break the bank because of sort of various condition issues, look no further. This could do very well indeed. They are very, very rare and they don't come up that often, and when they do, the price point tends to be quite high because they are a collectible guitar. But fantastic instrument, fantastic acoustic guitar, Larson Brothers. We do have a demo of this being played by Chris Buck on our YouTube channel, and you will be able to find that video in the lot description as well. So there we go, a Larson Bros Euphonon acoustic. It's almost like seeing double from the Martin we saw earlier, the 1928 Martin. But this is again a Larson Bros. This one was made for William Stahl, and there's a logo inside. And this is kind of got, it's a style 8 we're calling it, so sort of small parlour guitar size, and again incredible guitar, that Brazilian rose of back and sides, spruce top with the very Martin high-end appointments, Martin type appointments. So it's a lot lighter actually than the 20s Martin. I think we both me and Chris do prefer this as an instrument actually, although it doesn't have the Martin name, but it has had some repairs. It's got a replacement bridge plate, and it has had other various repairs from being its usage over the years. But again, another incredibly rare acoustic guitar, 1920s Larson Brothers, style 8 made for William Stahl. So in here is a rare Martin guitar. This is from 1986, a birth year guitar from me, and this was custom ordered by Philip York, who is the owner of the UK Martin Distribution Company, and it's essentially a treble zero, and the custom order features are essentially to put all the pre-war appointments on it. So a fantastic instrument and a one-off thing really. So it should do rather well in the auction, but I think you'll see it's a stunning guitar, and it's a stunning instrument as well. Lovely player, as you'd expect. But there we go, a treble zero custom, and has good provenance as well. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today for this consignment update. We're getting to the end of our consignment updates now, as the catalogue is live. We will do some more videos featuring other guitars over the coming days and weeks running up to the sale. So do look out for those. Subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, and of course like this video. Helps other like-minded people find our content, and of course keeps you up to date with all the news here at Gardner Holgate. So the sale is on the 3rd to the 6th of December, and you can view the catalogue at auctions.gardnerholgate.co.uk or guitarauctions.com or guitar-auctions.co.uk. Please remember to follow us on our socials as well, Instagram and Facebook, and then subscribe to our mailing list as well, so you can keep up to date with all the news and goings on at Gardner Holgate Auction Rooms. So yeah, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.